Hey guys, the Camo Christian here again today, and I just thought I'd do a second video. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about myself and why I chose Christianity is the right religion. Um, yeah, I did grow up with it, so, some people would say, oh, that's why you chose it, but I actually had questions. When I was 13 to about 16, I was having questions, and, actually, I'm not sure when God's Not Dead 2 came out, so maybe even a few when I was 17. But I watched God's Not Dead 1, and, it was a good movie, and it answered some of my questions, but I was still having kind of doubts, I was like, oh, it's a good movie, but they didn't really prove anything. And they really didn't, except for, they proved maybe a couple things, I'm not sure. But then I watched God's Not Dead 2, and that really answered a lot of my questions. Like, see, I didn't know if they could prove that Jesus was actually a real man, if he was actually alive, but apparently there are like 40 sources that are not in the good book that talk about Jesus as a man. And, and some of them are even atheist sources. And I was going to read this for you guys. Do you guys know what year it is? Think about it for a second. Well, if you're watching this video later than this, clearly it's another year. But it's that year, AD. Right now, it's 2016 AD. If you watch it in the future, like I said, it's that year. And then AD. Well, what does AD mean? It means Anno Domini. And what that means is, in the year of the Lord. So, that is what the whole world goes by. That is the time that the whole world goes by. That was when Jesus Christ died. I mean, it was 2016 years ago that Jesus Christ died. This year. So, in the year of the Lord, that is what that's talking about. I mean, if you guys don't think that's proof, I don't know what in the world you're thinking, but I mean, that's what the whole world goes by. Some more proof for me is the whole world. Look at it. We have trees that give us oxygen, and we give them carbon dioxide. We breathe their oxygen. They breathe our carbon dioxide. So that works together. We have animals in an ecosystem that work fine. The food chain works perfect. Everything in God's beautiful earth works together. If we were any closer to the sun, we could not sustain life, and if we were any further from the sun, we could not sustain life. Your brain is like a supercomputer. Even the cells in your body are like a bunch of little supercomputers. There's just so much proof all around you. But the problem is that a lot of people don't want to see it. Sorry I keep saying a lot, guys. But there's just so much proof around us. And, I really wish that people would just open their eyes and look around. I have not touched on all of the proof. There are prophecies that were said in the Bible that came true. There is talk of dinosaurs in the Bible. Some people say, well, it doesn't talk about dinosaurs in the Bible. But, it does. They say, because how could you miss the mention of something so important? They didn't. So guys, just, please look around. Please be open to, proof. I don't understand how people can look at the proof around us and say, no, there's no God. I mean, you know, if you think about it, it's kind of amazing that the rain stays up where it does. I know why. Science can explain it. But why though? You know, stuff like that doesn't just happen. So, yeah. And so, back to the little bit about me and why I chose. You know, so, I'm 17 right now. But when I watched those movies, you know, I thought, well, dadgum. That is just amazing proof. And so now I'm a Sunday school teacher, and I was telling the kids about it, and they thought that it was amazing that all of this stuff is happening. And yeah, maybe it's not that hard to impress kids, but grown adults think that this is impressive. You know, Charles Darwin, for you evolutionists, said that if there was any new evidence presented, that his theory would just crumble. And there is new evidence. Back in his day, a cell was thought to be no more complicated than a block of Jell-O. That's what I got from a video. Sorry for stealing it, but anyway, but I love that though, because what that means is they didn't know. I mean, maybe if a cell was as complicated as Jell-O, and us people were, you know, just so unsophisticated, so uncomplicated, then I could see how, yeah, maybe you could be like, well, yeah, no, that's not right. But we are very complicated. Each one of our cells, not even our brain is a supercomputer. Our brain is a supercomputer, but just our cells are supercomputers. Each tiny little cell is a supercomputer, all in its own. And I think the video I was watching said it could hold like 40,000 books worth of information in it. In each little cell that's, I mean, you can't see it except for looking in a microscope. You know, and there's so many of us in us. And there's also, I can't remember what it was called, but there's also like this engine that pretty much, I mean, it looks like it was designed by an engineer that's in us. There's a whole bunch of them in us that, you know, help us run. And, I mean, it looks like an engine that an engineer built, or, you know, something that an engineer had to come up with, proving that, you know, a superior intellect created us. So that is what I have for you guys today. There's a lot more proof, a whole lot more, but I'm not, you know, I mean, there's so many videos out there that I'm not going to turn this into, you know, just one of the detail. It is a lot of details, but thing is, guys, please open your eyes. There's so much proof in the world that God is real, guys. So just, please, keep the faith, guys. God loves you, and I'll talk to y'all later.